At 75, I finally feel ready to speak openly about my life with Elvis Presley. For decades, the world has seen only fragments, glimpses of our relationship, often through gossip or speculation. But now I want to share the truth, the moments nobody knew, and the man behind the legend. I first met Elvis in 1972. I was Miss Tennessee, young and full of dreams, and he was Elvis. There was an immediate spark, an energy that drew me in. He had a presence that was impossible to ignore. He could light up a room with a smile, a glance, or a few words. At the same time, being around him was overwhelming because the world was always watching. Every step we took, every conversation, every laugh, it felt like it was under a microscope. Elvis was magnetic, not just because of fame, but because of the person he was. He had warmth, humor, and a charm that felt effortless. But behind that charm, he carried a vulnerability that few ever saw. He was human, deeply human, and that's what made loving him both beautiful and challenging. Living with Elvis was like stepping into a whirlwind. The fame, the constant attention, the relentless demands, it could be exhausting. But there were moments of peace, quiet evenings at Graceland where it was just the two of us, sharing stories, laughing, or simply sitting together in silence. Those moments were fleeting, but they were precious. I witnessed the pressures he faced every single day. The late-night performances, the expectations of fans, managers, and the media, it took a toll on him. I tried to be his support, to shield him from some of that weight, but some things are bigger than love. You can't protect someone from fame, from the loneliness that comes with it, or from the inner battles they fight. Despite everything, Elvis could be incredibly tender. He would surprise me with small gestures, a note, a song, or simply a quiet evening together. He had a childlike curiosity about life, a generosity that many never saw, and a heart capable of great love. But with all the adoration and attention came isolation. I could see it in his eyes even when he smiled for the cameras. Our relationship wasn't perfect. There were disagreements, misunderstandings, and pressures that tested both of us. And eventually, I made the hardest decision of my life. Leaving him was necessary for my own well-being, yet it was a heartbreak I carried for years. But even after we parted ways, our bond remained. He would call, check in, and we stayed friends. That connection, that shared history, was impossible to sever. I loved him deeply. He was a kind soul, often misunderstood, and frequently judged by people who only saw the surface. He gave so much to the world, yet sometimes it seemed like he needed more than he could ever take. Behind the legend, behind the music and the fame, there was vulnerability, humanity, and a heart that loved fiercely. As I reflect on those years, I realize that loving Elvis was as much about understanding him as it was about loving him. The public saw the performer, the king of rock and roll, but I knew the man, the laughter, the insecurities, the warmth, and the quiet strength that carried him through the toughest days, even today. Decades later, I think about him often. He remains an indelible part of my life, a chapter filled with joy, sorrow, learning, and profound love. His legacy is not only in the music and performances, but in the lives he touched, the hearts he inspired, and the people he loved. Elvis was one of a kind. There will never be another like him. And though our paths diverged, I carry the memories of our time together with me every day. They shaped who I am, taught me about love, sacrifice, and the extraordinary complexities of being close to someone the world adores. To love Elvis Presley was to experience something rare, a connection that transcends fame, ego, and public scrutiny. It was a love that challenged me, nurtured me, and left me forever changed. Even now, the memories are vivid. I remember how he smiled when he was genuinely happy, the way he could make anyone feel special, the way his music flowed effortlessly from his heart to the world. Those memories are mine, and they are sacred. I want people to know the truth. Elvis Presley was human, filled with love, challenges, and dreams like anyone else. The legend is eternal. But the man I knew was far more complex, far more tender, and far more extraordinary than anyone could imagine. I remember our quiet walks at Graceland when the world seemed miles away. He loved simple things. A good meal, a funny story, or just sitting on the porch watching the sunset. Those were the moments that revealed his true nature, the kind and gentle soul that so many never got to see. I also remember his humor. He could make anyone laugh, and he often used humor to deflect stress or sadness. Behind the laughter, though, there was a deep sensitivity. He felt things profoundly, and that intensity shaped both his art and his relationships. We had dreams together. We talked about future plans, about family, about life beyond the stage. And even when life pulled us in different directions, those dreams remained a part of us, a shared secret that I cherish to this day. Love with Elvis was not without heartache. There were moments of frustration, times when the pressures of fame seemed too much, and moments of longing for simplicity. But even in those challenging times, the love was real, deep, and unforgettable. The lessons I learned from loving Elvis are ones I carry with me to this day: patience, understanding, forgiveness, and the importance of seeing the person behind the public persona. Love him or not, the man I knew had a heart that few could comprehend. Even now, I think of him often, remembering the little things, the sound of his voice, the way he concentrated when writing a song, the way he could light up a room without even trying. Those moments are etched into my heart forever. At 75, I finally feel ready to share this story, not for attention, not for fame, but to honor the man I loved, to honor our time together, and to share what it truly meant to know Elvis Presley. Elvis was more than a legend. He was a man with a heart capable of incredible love, a soul that carried both light and darkness, and a presence that could fill any room. I am grateful for the time we shared, for the lessons learned, and for the memories that will stay with me forever. The world will always remember the king of rock and roll, but I will always remember the man, the private moments, the laughter, the tenderness, and the love we shared. That is the truth, the story I can finally tell. And so I speak these words now, knowing that love like this does not fade with time. Elvis Presley was unforgettable, and so too are the moments we shared together. He was human, he was extraordinary, and he was deeply loved. The king will live forever, not only in the music and the history books, but in the hearts of those who knew him, and in mine eternally. Even after decades, I think often about Elvis, about the man behind the music, the fame, and the legend. Many people only saw the bright lights, the performances, the king of rock and roll, but I saw something else, something private, tender, and real. Elvis had a way of making every moment feel significant. It didn't matter if we were at a concert, walking through Graceland, or just sitting in silence. He had a presence that made everything feel alive. He could make a small gesture feel monumental, a simple laugh seem like a gift. I remember the first time we had a long conversation alone. We spoke about our dreams, our fears, the life we wanted beyond fame. He wanted so much to be understood, to be loved for who he truly was, not just for the persona the world adored. And he was deeply caring, always thinking of others, always aware of those around him. Living with Elvis wasn't always easy. Fame casts a long shadow, and it can isolate even the most charismatic person. He carried so many expectations on his shoulders, fans, managers, the media, and sometimes that weight was visible. Yet he faced it with determination and a sense of responsibility that few ever appreciated. I tried to be a source of stability, a reminder that life could be simple, that love didn't have to be complicated. We shared quiet moments that were rare, moments where the world stopped and it was just us. Those moments revealed his humanity, his vulnerability, and the depth of his heart. Elvis could be playful, mischievous even. He loved humor and often used it to lighten the mood. But behind the humor was a sensitivity few saw. He felt deeply, and that intensity shaped both his music and the way he connected with people. I learned that to love him meant to see both sides, the laughter and the shadows, the joy and the struggles. We had plans, dreams that were ours alone. He spoke about wanting a family, a life beyond the stage lights. We imagined quiet mornings, simple evenings, and laughter filling the home. Even when circumstances pulled us apart, those dreams were a thread that bound us together, a private world only we shared. I also saw the struggles that fame brought into his life. There were pressures he couldn't escape, expectations that were relentless, and a loneliness that few understood. I tried to support him, to be there as he navigated that world, but there were limits to what love alone could accomplish. Yet the love we shared was real, deep, and transformative. Being with Elvis taught me about patience, compassion, and the power of connection. He had a heart that loved fiercely, even if the world didn't always recognize it. That love shaped me, left a lasting impression, and gave me memories I treasure to this day. I remember our quiet walks, our conversations late into the night, and the small, unexpected moments that revealed who he truly was. He had a curiosity about the world, a desire to understand people and life itself. He noticed things others overlooked, a kindness in someone's gesture, a beauty in an ordinary moment. Elvis's music reflected that depth. It wasn't just entertainment. It was an extension of his soul. Every note, every lyric carried emotion and authenticity. And while the world celebrated the performer, I cherished the man, the moments that were never captured on film or in photos. Even after we parted ways, our bond remained. He would check in, call, and maintain a connection that was both comforting and bittersweet. It was a love that didn't end with separation. It evolved into something enduring, a mutual respect and understanding. Reflecting on our time together now, I realize how extraordinary those years were. Loving Elvis was a lesson in empathy, patience, and resilience. He taught me about the complexities of fame, the fragility of human connection, and the enduring power of love. Even today, I think about him, the sound of his laughter, the way he focused on something that fascinated him, the kindness he showed to people quietly and without fanfare. Those memories are etched into my heart forever. I want people to understand the man behind the myth. Elvis Presley was human, vulnerable, and capable of immense love. He was more than a performer. He was a friend, a partner, a soul that left an indelible mark on everyone fortunate enough to know him. I remember his quiet generosity, the thoughtful gestures that went unnoticed. He would remember birthdays, little details, or do something to brighten someone's day without anyone knowing. That was the real Elvis, the man who cared deeply and loved authentically. Our love was filled with challenges, yes, but also with joy, laughter, and unforgettable moments. Even in the hard times, there was a depth and sincerity that made every experience meaningful. Loving him was a privilege, one I will always carry with me. Elvis was unique in so many ways. There will never be another like him. He had a soul that transcended fame, a heart that loved without hesitation, and a presence that could light up a room. My memories of him are treasures, reminders of what it means to love fully and to be loved in return. Even now, I feel gratitude for our time together. The lessons, the laughter, the quiet moments, they shaped me, strengthened me, and left a permanent imprint on my heart. I am honored to have known him, to have shared a part of his life, and to carry his memory with me. The King will live forever, not only through his music, but through the hearts of those who loved him and understood him. And I was one of those people. I knew him, loved him, and saw the man behind the legend. That truth is something I cherish and will always share. At 75, I can finally speak openly, honestly, and with love. Elvis Presley was unforgettable, and the memories we shared together are eternal. He was human, extraordinary, and deeply loved.